Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yes. So thank you everybody for tuning in and getting onto this AMA. Here at Taboo, we make sure we have consistent voice calls or AMAs, as you'd like to call them, to give the opportunity for our community to ask questions, inquire about certain aspects of the project and where we're heading. And as we always say, that there's never ever a wrong question. So I hope that people will be happy to share some information. And how they feel about the project and kind of questions that they may have, because we are happy to answer any of them. And of course, we will provide updates about our imminent marketplace launch that's coming up, as well as some more exciting news as well. James, would you like to add anything before we move forward?
Yeah, and I always like to say when we have these voice calls, we are all ears. This is an opportunity for you guys to give us your feedback on, what you think we're doing well at, what you think potentially we're not doing so well at. This is your time to tell us, what maybe you would like to see more of, what you would like to see less of, what you think could work for the project and the community. Because ultimately, like I've said numerous times now, we are essentially working for you. So we're here, to do the best job we possibly can. And on these calls, we are all ears. We like to take everybody's point of view on board, and we like to listen to everybody's feedback. So, please try and participate. Please try and get involved, because the more you get involved, the more you participate, the much more easier it makes our job. So, please don't be shy.
Yes, yes. And I will say that, in the last, I would say close to 48 hours, we have had a surge in holders. Our community is getting stronger, and without a strong community, you don't have success in the crypto sphere. And take it from me, we James and I both have experience. James is, just for you are aware, for some of the new members in here. James, do you want to maybe share a little bit about yourself, and then I can share a little bit about myself, because I see there's many new faces here, so it'd be great for them to get to know us a bit better before we
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to drone on, because obviously, I don't want
Yes.
to repeat myself. And ultimately, there are lots of our previous AMAs that are there for people to go and look back and listen to. But a bit of history about myself: I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've co-founded numerous businesses, set them up from scratch and exited them. And I got into crypto several years ago, and I saw an opportunity 3-4 months ago when we launched Taboo, in terms of the adult industry, and ultimately this project and what we're looking to do with it in terms of the marketplace, the niche that Taboo has in the market. There is simply nothing else out there like us at this precise moment of time. We are unique, and we are in a position where we will, without fail, dominate this industry. And that's what gave me the motivation and enthusiasm to sort of get involved with launching essentially my own crypto project. And that's basically what Majid and I have done.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And a bit about myself, I was running my own wealth management business before moving into the crypto sphere, and I have been involved in about 4 large-scale cryptocurrency projects, helped grow them to hundreds of millions of market cap. So I bring in the crypto-centric experience. James brings in the traditional business experience as well, and together we're a force to be reckoned with. So I want everybody to know as well that when it comes to any investment, whether it's a stock or whether it's cryptocurrency investment, you are investing in the team to deliver just as much as you are in the idea of that project. And from day one, James and I have always ensured that we set the highest standards. We are here to stay, we are here to win, and we are here to ensure that all of you will be handsomely rewarded for placing your faith in us. And when we look at Taboo and how we've held during periods of green days in the market, during periods of red days in the market. We are so resilient and we are just getting started. Our marketplace is right around the corner. And when this marketplace launches, I've said this time and time again, this is the start of our journey together. So give yourselves a pat on the back for the first time, or maybe more than for the first time. Many of you are here extremely early. We are right in our infancy and we are poised for global domination. I've said this time and time again. And in a hot and trendy space like NFTs, with a unique use case that we have going on, read our white paper if you haven't. You can hear the excitement in my voice. We are going to take this very, very far, and we have already taken it substantially far already. So anything else you want to add, James, before we move on to start for the questions here?
No. Yeah, I mean, Majid, as we've mentioned numerous times, we are here to dominate. And, like I've said, we will not let the community down. And as Majid just quite rightly said, just following up on that, the marketplace launch is just the start for us. So that's when you're going to actually see some real big action from the team and the marketing that we have lined up for when this marketplace launches. Some of the content now we're putting together, honestly, guys, it would make your hair stand on end. I can't talk too much. I've always got a slap on the wrist from the team, but the community always have loved it, that, I sometimes let secrets out that I shouldn't. So I will try and be as reserved as I possibly can for this call. But when this marketplace launches, it really is going to be spectacular and it's going to be special. And if Majid and I and the team, we will pull off what Majid and I have been speaking about now on numerous calls about how we're looking to launch this marketplace, and it will be sensational, and it will create ripples, in this crypto industry. It is going to happen, and we will make sure of that.
Absolutely. We have some amazing viral marketing campaigns lined up, and as James said, we're not privy to share too many details just yet, but it's important to remember that from the very beginning, we have always had ongoing marketing. We are just saving, we could say the tricks that we have up our sleeves. We made a unanimous decision. Once you have a working product, a working, live, and functional product, it becomes much easier to market said product. And we are going to ensure that once we go live, and remember everybody, this is a minimally viable product launch. So I need everyone to manage their expectations. It'll be functional, it'll be live. You will be able to buy and sell NFTs. There will be content there as well. You will get to see and get a glimpse as to what we're trying to build, but that is just version 1. We have 3 versions that are coming up, and we have the best development team that money can buy.
Exactly. And sorry, just to interrupt you there, Majid. When we say about version 1 of the marketplace and version 2 and version 3 of the marketplace, there was a call that Majid and I had several days ago now with another cool team member. And, ultimately, there isn't such thing as a version 1, version 2, version 3. We obviously have our milestones that we know are going to be implemented upon version 1, version 2, and version 3, in terms of the features like, virtual reality, live streaming, tipping, tiered system, etc., that obviously all of you guys should be familiar with. But actually, this marketplace won't just stop at version 3 or version 2 or version 1. It's going to need constant development, constant upgrades, constant new features and benefits added. So actually, when it comes to saying version 1, version 2, version 3, it doesn't always sit well with me. Because essentially there's going to be hundreds of versions, right? That's our job, to ensure that we're always way ahead of the game, to ensure that we've always got the best marketplace, for our community and for our audience. So in terms of that, it's going to be regularly updated and regularly, developed. But when we talk about the version 1, version 2, version 3, I think that's just predominantly highlighting the key milestones of what our marketplace is essentially going to, have implemented on it, and at what stages they're going to become live.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a very important distinction. And, a big part of this as well comes down to, trial and error as well. Once this gets launched, as James correctly said, on a daily basis, we are going to be continuously updating, refining, and modifying the functionality of it, how seamless it is, the user experience, how the UI looks, all of that. But we just want to make sure that before we launch this, I could say the beginning version of the multiple series of versions that we'll have, we're not in a position to rush. I want to make this very clear. We are going to launch this imminently. We were expecting this to be, are anticipating it to be at the end of September. We're looking now first week of October, and I'm very happy to say that with confidence that looks to be great, but looks to be accurate. However, if there is any reason for us to delay that a little further, it's not actually a delay. It's an improvement that we want to make to ensure that when this goes live, we come out with a bang and we show the world who we are and what we stand for. Would you agree, James?
Following up on that, it's in our interest and also our community's interest to ensure that our job is to maximize the potential of, all of these milestones that the project and the business is achieving. We would be fools not to do that. So, we never actually said the end of September. We always said the end of September, the first week in October, because we haven't actually given a definitive date yet. Because we don't think it's wise to do that, because, we've always stood by, the motto of, under sort of promising and over delivering. And, that's what we've always done from launch. And that's what we will continue to do. So, something that's really important for me is to ensure that we do maximize the potential of the marketplace launch, and to ultimately make sure we're getting the best value from the launch. So if I've got to delay it by a day, but the benefit through doing that way exceeds the negative of delaying it a day, then that's something we would do. However, we wouldn't do that if the pros didn't outweigh the cons. So as Majid said, we had a call today with our core team members, and obviously PowerSoft, the Engine Coin developers, that actually developed Engine Coin's marketplace, that are also, developing ours. And it's pretty much there now. We just need to, polish a few bits here and there. I am quite finicky when it comes to things. I can be a bit picky. If I really don't like something, then, I do sometimes, get my foot in it. But ultimately, we're pretty much there as far as I'm concerned. It's just making sure the content is absolutely spot on. And Majid, you know how I want to launch it in terms of the content that's going to be provided and the value of that, and the great big media campaign and marketing campaign that I want to do around it, that I don't think is a wise idea that I elaborate too much on at this time. But it really would make your guys' hair stand on end with what we're looking to achieve out of this launch.
Absolutely. I could not have said it better myself. And I think this is a perfect headway into opening up the floor to our devoted and loyal community members, some that have been here since the beginning. And like I said, I see many new faces. Don't be shy, as we say. Ask any questions that you have in your minds right now, and we will be happy to provide a tangible answer for you, so that you can all be happy knowing that your investment is in the right place. So we'll open up the floor right now to any questions.
Hello, I have a question if you don't mind.
I
Sure.
don't mind at all. Go for it.
Have a good day, everyone. I'm just new in this group, and I want to know if I heard about new big listing. So, will you explain which exchange is going to be?
Right, right. So, from the very beginning, we have always set our sights on going big and trying to aim for the highest tier and top exchanges. Now, at the beginning of the history of Taboo, we came to an understanding that we had to conduct stepping stones, meaning that some of our initial exchanges we first wanted to go straight to KuCoin, by the way, if you weren't here at the start, Hamza. But we were informed that we had to list on tier 2 exchanges as a matter of protocol before we could go straight to a tier 1 exchange. So we have done our part so far in the recent listings that we've had on Hotbit, on Whitebit, and Lbank. What I will say is we have confirmed new exchange listings for that are going to be coming up for quarter 4. Um, we we need to make sure that we can't we as James and I, we're always very careful. We're not going to share the name just yet, but I can give you a confirmation that this next exchange is going to be bigger and better than the one we've had before. So I hope that
Yeah,
answers
and
the ones that we've had before.
it also goes back to Hamza. Thank you for your
Thanks.
question, but also it goes back to what I just mentioned briefly a few minutes ago about yet again, obviously maximizing the potential. So we're not in no desperate rush. We are here for the long term. We're not this short term pump and dump project. We're a long term project. However, that's not to say we aren't going to have a 2, 3, 4, 5 times pump in the space of a week or a month. But, it's about creating that mindset and ultimately sustainability. So it wouldn't be in our interest. We've had a phenomenal month for the month of September, which, historically hasn't been the best
Yes.
month for crypto projects. Obviously our market cap is
Yeah,
also based on BNB, as you
yeah.
guys know. We obviously are a BSC project. BNB is down, I don't
I
know,
just,
circa 30% from the
I
beginning
just
of
want to say that.
September. However, we're actually up from that point. So, in terms of the general markets and how they perform, we've done extremely well. We've always been extremely resilient. And it's the same with the exchanges. So, as Maggie said, we do have the next exchange confirmed. It is bigger than the exchange you're currently listed on. It is a well-known exchange. But for us, it's about maximizing that potential and ensuring, that we do this strategically and in the best
Hmm.
appropriate manner, that ultimately we feel is the best. Whether you guys don't agree with that or not, that's a different matter. But obviously, Majid and I, what we feel is the most strategic and smartest way of going about our next exchange listing to get the most maximum value that we possibly can for you as a community.
Exactly, exactly. To summarize that,
Exactly.
it's about focused intention is what it's all
Can
about.
I tell a
And
little bit about that, please?
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm very excited to join as a community, and I'm also looking for this type of ecosystem where we provide a lots of NFTs and such a video to our adult contents. And I'm very grateful to join this community, and I'm very appreciate the James and Mazid, sir.
Yes, yes, and I will just make one clarification there. We are an adult entertainment type crypto project, but we are not branding ourselves as a pornography token. We are branding ourselves as the next Playboy of blockchain, and we've done that strategically from the start. There was a time at the very beginning, and as James was talking about maximizing the potential of our marketing spend and of the strategic moves that we're trying to make, we were looking at the market, we were looking at our competition, and we were noticing just how desperate they all were to rush their product and make it live. And we sat back and we said, you know what? We could do the same thing. We could be like everybody else. We could have had a functioning working product within 2 to 3 weeks. We could have went with a cheaper development team if we wanted as well. We could have sped up our timeline, even with some of the pressure that we might have had from our community members at that point in time. But we believe in doing it right the first time. And when we launch our product, we want to make sure that it surpasses our competition. So we sat back and we said, you know what? Let them launch their lackluster products, because what we're building here, we're gonna wipe the floors with them in the future. Pardon my language. And this is what's gonna happen now with our imminent marketplace launch too. So
Exactly, and you know, and following on from that, Majid, you know,
yeah,
it's also smart how we're positioning ourselves. So, as a lot of our community would probably understand, is we want to be marketable. We are not here to be $100 million project. We can make this $100 million project overnight. It's not difficult to do that. That's not what we're looking to achieve. We are looking to achieve $1 billion project. That's what I've always had my heart set on, is to make Taboo $1 billion project. Now, to do that, the right way to do that is to make yourself marketable, is to make yourself user friendly, if you interpret that in the appropriate manner, and also as politically correct in this day and age as you possibly can. Now, that's what our aspirations are and goals, and we need to ensure that we achieve that. And that is one thing that we can guarantee to you, that this is the best way to achieve that, by this, you know, this method and route that we're taking to ensure that, you know, the likes of Bloomberg, the likes of Yahoo, the likes of, you know, Cointelegraph, the likes of, you know, News BTC, where we've been featured, News World, where we've been featured. We want them to be approaching us to feature us, not them saying they won't feature us because of this, that, and all of the other. So it's, you know, you've got to look at it. You've got to be smart. You've got to maximize the potential. And we feel that the way we're positioning ourselves is very, very, very marketable and also very powerful.
Absolutely. And you know, that's reflected in the name of our project, which is marketable compared to other names which we may be familiar with, even our quality model partners that we've chosen and moved forward with. You know, we've been very selective, very selective on every move that we've made. I always tell James this, it's like we're playing a game of chess, and you know, we're making chess moves on a daily basis.
Exactly, and you know, it proves that we're doing things fantastically well, with the fact that, you know, we are CMC trending, and I think we've been there for like over 24 hours. Mistake me if I'm wrong. Is that correct? I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think we have been there for a significant amount of time. I mean, yeah, we're currently sat third. You know, we're still CMC trending. This is massive news for us and our project. It proves to us, you know, how many eyes are on us. We're on 36,785 watch lists. So I think that pretty much sums it up, that we are doing something right. And, you know, we're getting our name out there. And I've always said to Majid, right from the word go, you know, that yes, we're going to do marketing. We're going to push Taboo. We're going to, you know, push it well. But actually, let's wait until we have a working product. So then we can push as many people to the working product as we possibly can. Because ultimately, that's what's going to convert them to be a Taboo holder. When you haven't got a working product, it's a lot more difficult, unless you're super crypto-centric. Whereas, you know, Majid and I's methodology right from the start has been also we are focusing on non-crypto centric people. And that's
Yes.
why we have the simple swap feature on our marketplace. So people will be able to go onto our marketplace and trade not any crypto, but a vast amount of other projects and the big names. They will be able to simply trade at the click of a button that crypto, whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be USDT, whether it be, Ethereum. They will be able to trade that right there and then on our marketplace for Taboo.
Yes, and I will say this. The number one problem that not a single cryptocurrency project has been able to solve in all the years that I have been immersed in this space is simplifying the user experience from the moment an individual hears about a crypto project through exposure, brand, community, event-based type marketing, and all kinds of marketing, to the process and the facilitation of getting them onto that platform and converting a non-crypto centric investor who's interested to buy cryptocurrency to buy that token and then to use it with the utility that the project will have to buy, sell, hold, stake, farm, you name it, and all of that. And I will say one thing, this is something that has been very exciting for me. Anybody on that marketplace can go onto it within milliseconds. There will be a MetaMask wallet that will be created for them. A private key will be given in such a very simple and quick way. Somebody is going to be able to create a crypto wallet, is going to be able to swap and buy Taboo, is going to be able to use Taboo to use on an NFT that they desire of, let's say, Chloe Terre, Holly Barker, Jenny Summers, some of our international playbait models, for example, as well. That I have not seen it. If someone has seen it, please let me know. But I have not seen that yet. And that has been the name of the game for us from day one. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. And
Exactly.
that is
And
what
I think, Majid, you've probably got fed up with me at times, on the call where I haven't so much come from the crypto background, like Majid is, very, very much so from the crypto background. For me, the aim of the game for me is to keep it simple. I want everything about this project kept simple. Because let's face facts, the people that are going to be spending these hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on exclusive, limited edition NFTs that Chloe Terre is producing for us, that Holly Barker's producing for us, that, Bray, CJ, all of these top-notch supermodels that are producing for us, do you really honestly think that their fans are crypto-centric?
Nope.
Maybe 5%, 10% at a push. At an absolute push. So wouldn't it be very naive of us and actually stupid of us to not make it simple for Joe Bloggs that is a major fan of Chloe Terre, just to simply log on to visit our marketplace, log in, create a wallet, and buy an exclusive NFT? That's what we want. We want it simple and easy for them. And most importantly, guys, a real fundamental point that is more important than any of this is when we start going to all of our partnered models and we start requesting them to give us the big marketing push. Once that marketplace is live, it wouldn't really have much point them doing that if essentially their fans and their audience couldn't utilize it, benefit from it, or use it. So something that we've ensured that we have done is that when we do, really have this big marketing push, that if, you know, Joe Bloggs down the road has no idea about crypto, he logs onto our marketplace, he's a fan of Chloe Terres, for example, he wants to buy that exclusive NFT, he can.
Exactly.
And Taboo is the utility to do that. And that's something that Majid and I have ensured and made sure will happen.
Absolutely.
I have a
Absolutely.
question.
Yeah, go ahead, Raymond.
Oh, thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you, guys, for having these. I think you call them MSAs. These calls. It's just really responsible and hugely helpful to the community and to people and investors in general. I know you're busy and it takes out your time, but it's really it speaks to how advanced your program is, both in what you're building, but also how you're communicating, because obviously not everybody does this, and it's really helpful, and transparency is a key, especially in these new markets. So thank you for having these. I do have two questions, though. One is, can you give any specifics or hints onto what your marketing program is going to be to draw these customers away from whatever it is they're doing now to your new platform? It's a very competitive market, that this business, and I'm just curious as to if you have sort of tricks up your sleeve or strategies that will do it. And the second part of that question is, if the marketing plan doesn't have the pull, and I've been involved in a lot of businesses and startups and whatnot where the same thing happened. If the marketing plan in a month or two doesn't have the pull that you're expecting, is there a plan B or a re-strategy to change whatever marketing plans you have to get that pull, to get that, you know, the ROIs and the numbers that you're trying to hit? If you could share some of that information without, obviously, you know, you have to be confidential with some of this stuff, but if you could share that. My second question is, and this one's way out in left field, with how big the adult market is now, with people paying with credit cards and PayPal and things like that. Have you ever thought about, and this is more of a strategic question, have you ever thought about, in addition to setting up your own platform, creating the Taboo Crypto as a payment platform across all adult content platforms? So, for instance, if I went to RedTube and I wanted to pay, instead of with my credit card, I could pay with Taboo Crypto. And so you have a relationship with RedTube and XNXX or whatever the name is, and all these other different platforms where you're the payment of choice by people who want discretion and have Taboo cryptos and can buy other content on other platforms using the Taboo crypto. That's just more of a strategic question. Thank you for listening.
Right,
No,
right.
Raymond, I mean, fantastic questions, and thank you, you know, for getting involved and participating in this call. Majid, would you like to start, or would you like me to?
Yes. I'll start. And so,
Okay, sure.
great questions. So first and foremost, you know, you did mention that with your first question, you know, it is a competitive space. However, we do not see it that way for a few reasons. One, what we are trying to build here and the type of project that we are already forming our own niche. If you read our white paper and you look at, for example, the unique tiering system that we have in place, where there is requirements of access in order to be able to view and potentially own exclusive content, there's no one else out there that is doing that. So we have a unique tiering system that's in place that is going to give us this differentiative edge. The second thing is, as well, you know, when we look at competition, you know, many people have their eyes set on, you know, adult entertainment type projects and porn tokens and all of that. We are going to have all of that, but Raymond, that is not our flagship product, if that makes sense. You know, we are in the business of selling fantasy, and we have a product that we're going to be launching that is all about exclusivity. That is the second differentiator, meaning that we are limiting the kinds of content creators that can come onto our platform and the kind and amount of content that we will have available, because the value of an NFT is all subjective, and you have the ability to create the scarcity behind it to help it fetch a higher value. So I want to make that part very clear, and this is the way that we have been branding ourselves. You know, if we look at let's say the retail industry, for example, right? And let's say you want to go out and you want to buy a new T-shirt. I like to keep examples very simple. You can go to, you know, an outlet store or a store and buy many different types of brands, but we're like the premium brand. We're like it's like you're going to buy Gucci, for example, or Versace. Does that make sense? So we're branding ourselves as a premium type product from the get-go, and no one else is doing that. Now, when it comes to our marketing strategies, I always say this from day one, and James can relate. You know, our strategies have been pivoting on a daily basis, because as the project grows, we as team members running the project have to grow and adapt as well. So some of the moves and the strategies we've made from the beginning, they're not relevant for us anymore. So when we look at areas like our roadmap, that is not a definitive thing. That is just a guideline that we have, and we give ourselves the opportunity at any point in time to pivot where we see fit and make adjustments. Does that make sense? So when we look at strategies and we look at the marketing campaigns that we want to run, we made a decision about a week ago where we said, you know what, we have the chance right now to pull the trigger on some large scale marketing efforts right now. And we're not going to share too much information on that. But we said, you know what, makes more sense to first have the working product, because having the working product in place makes it easier to market and have the effects of our marketing spend be useful as well. Now,
Yeah, and
when
I
it
would like
comes,
to quickly follow
yeah,
up, Magic. Sorry to interrupt
yeah,
with
go ahead, go ahead.
Raymond's first point. You know, something also that I think differentiates us quite dramatically is the quality of the content, the quality of the models.
Exactly.
Also, following up what you mentioned about the tiered structure that is implemented within our marketplace, that, you know, can give, you know, the investor and the user such things as, you know, the meet and greets that we're offering with these
Yes.
particular models, you know, the special parties and conferences that we're going to be running annually, the, you know, the Taboo Mansion that's also included, where there
Yep.
are going to be yearly events held there for our, you know, top tiered holders to, you know, be invited to and come along to. And these are things that you know, I do think differentiate us. And I don't think when we talk about competition, you know, I'm going to interpret it, Raymond, rather than it being we don't have competition. I'm going to interpret it as, you know, the competition that you're talking about is the same as us. They still can't really compete with that. In terms of, you know, like Majid quite rightly said, we're focusing on scarcity, exclusive content, never seen before NFTs. I mean, there's a prime example. I don't know if you know, Raymond, 1 month ago or several weeks ago, an NFT of a particular person sold for $250,000 because she basically labeled it, she named it, that she was selling her love, and it basically included like I think a date. Is that correct, Majid? Like a
Yes.
one night date. Now we're giving, because we're working so closely with our models, and it is going to be scarce, and we are going to be picking and choosing them. We can start being a little bit, what's the word? Not funky, but a little bit, you know. We're there to basically, we're open-minded with this. So, you know, if that means that we if some of the models want to tweak this, tweak that, if they want to offer that. I mean, me and Chloe had a joke only the other week on the phone when I mentioned this particular case to her. She went, yeah, I would like to sell a date to a hockey match. And, you know, we were laughing, you know, and these are things that, you know, we will come up with surprises. We will do some fun stuff. And this is, I think, the niche that we've got. And because of the quality of the partners and the content and the models that we've got, that I don't know whether you will agree, but I think that does give us that cutting edge. And I also can't talk too much about, but obviously the people that are also backing this project. So obviously I'm the CEO. We've got Majid, that's the COO. We've also got some other, you know, really big household names that are involved with Taboo, that we can't talk too much about at this stage, because obviously, you know, they have other ventures that, you know, they're also involved with confidentialities and things like that. But when some of these start to pull some strings, you know, believe you me, there is some big things that can really happen for us, the community, and ultimately the project.
And I will add one point on that as well. The technological innovation aspect of this project too is quite a differentiator. You know, when we decided to launch and you know, to build this marketplace, we said we want to go with the best development team that money can buy. And when you look at this, I guess you could say, MVP launch of this marketplace, that's just the beginning. I mean, this is a 6-month process to get to the final version. I say that loosely because there will always be many versions, as James said. You know, we're going to have aspects like virtual reality, streaming services. To answer your question, Raymond, we will have the ability for people to tip content creators as well. But when you talk about partnerships, you know, there's 2 ways we can look at it. You know, we can look at it like, hey, we want to partner with all of these different companies like Playboy, XNXX, or all of that, but we're not a payment processing company. I saw one other project that did this. They completely changed their business model. The dumps that happened and ensued from that was so vast that that's a very risky move to maybe go forward with. But my mindset from day one is, instead of partnering with the XNXXs or the RedTubes or the Chatterbaits, we are going to just become them in the crypto sphere. So we're looking to actually be those companies rather than just partner with them. But of course, if they come to us, or when we're in a position where we can have deliberations with them, we will cater those conversations. But I'm thinking beyond partnerships. I'm thinking we will be them in the future. Does that make sense, Raymond?
Yeah, no, I appreciate those very detailed answers. It all makes very good sense. I have read the white paper. I'll go back and read it now with a different lens. So again, that's why these calls are very helpful. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Raymond.
I have also a question.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first of all, I trust you guys. I think there is a big project with huge potential from growing. Yes, I love it. And I have a question about NFTs. I try, maybe is newbie has asking. I want to buy some NFTs, but I only see the Taboo Punks order 4. Are the same or not? And when
Okay,
I
go
buy
on.
when I buy FT, I will receive on MetaMask, or where I receive these NFTs, and where it's possible to offer them on sale, for example, Binance or FTX. I don't know.
Okay, so
Thank you.
the NFTs that I think you're referring to, Mr. T, is the Taboo Punks. This isn't the forefront of our project, or this shouldn't be, you know, something too much to focus on. This is something that Majid and I came up with the idea to do for a little bit of fun for the community, but ultimately for people that don't hold enough Taboo to qualify for the superior tiers, but to also be able to have a few of the benefits that, you know, the higher tiered Taboo holders also benefit from. So this is why we basically why we came up with the idea and why we've decided to create them. Now, they are just a sideline. The main NFTs that are going to be sold and that are going to, the content that is going to be on our marketplace is not Taboo punks.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes.
not Taboo punks. So the
And
Taboo punks are, like I just quite rightly said, a sideline to our project, you know, something that's a bit of fun for our community, and something for somebody, like I just, you know, said, that doesn't qualify, you know, to be a tier 4 to tier 3 Taboo holder because they don't essentially hold enough to be able to still potentially benefit from some of the perks that do come with being a you know, a tier 4 Taboo holder.
exactly.
And also, just while we're on this subject, Majid, I've been sent a DM from Nav, and it makes sense to actually nip this question in the bud while we're on the subject. He sent me a DM saying, "Hi, how does your tier system work? What's the criteria? And is there an earning system?" So, Nav, I presume you haven't had time to look at the white paper, which is absolutely fine. How the tiering system works, Majid, I'll let you take over if you wouldn't mind, because I'm hoping you've got all of the information in front of you right now in terms of numbers. Because
I'm so sorry for interrupting. Can you hear me?
yes,
Hello? Okay, I really want to listen to the tier system and all that, but before we get off of this topic, I have a very similar question with the Taboo punks. So right now there is an order form through Google, whatever the order form. So, and I've been burned from just sending money to addresses. So I guess, and I'm not saying at all that that's what's going to happen, but it, you know, it is scary. And so how do we, when will those come, and how do we know it's been, you know, we're going to get our NFT, because NFTs are just huge right now. And I'm sure a lot of the listeners would love to get one of these. And so the fact that it is out and for pre-sale, I'm sure a lot of us have a question about that specific element of it.
Yes, yes. So great. So okay. So I just wanna mention this first and foremost, just to clarify. Anybody that makes a pre-order on a Taboo Punk, you essentially bypass the I guess you could say the obstacles that for some holders might be there if they don't own enough Taboo to get access to the top tier on our marketplace. So that's the big number one reason we did it. That's why we only decided to we're deciding to only mint 10,000. So if you're early, you get an advantage, and I urge people to take advantage of that. Now, when it comes to those Taboo punks in the order form, so when an individual sends those funds over for, I think it was 0.01 Ethereum? Yeah, it was 0.01 Ethereum.
0.0035.
Yes. That's about, I think it's about $100, I
Yeah,
believe, or
like
something.
$90, nothing.
Yes. You know, so the blockchain verifies the transaction, and you are going to be inputting your wallet address that you hold Taboo on anyway. So when these Taboo punks are ready, we will then be sending the NFT to your ERC20 wallet address. So that is what we will be doing. Now, when it comes to the Taboo punks themselves and what they look like, we're very close. As James said before, he can be nitpicky, so can I. We're going to be sending some samples of the design. We're very close to finishing production. It's just kind of like as James, you would agree, click of a button once we're happy with the final design.
Yeah, and Michael, like we mentioned to you, know, it is a sideline project that we've done for a bit of fun for the community and for, you know, the lower tier holders to benefit from some of the, you know, the advantages and the exclusivity that comes with being a high tiered holder. it's not at the forefront of our mind. It's not what our project is based on. It's something that we've done, to enable what I've just mentioned, and ultimately for a bit of fun,
Yes.
Absolutely. And I understand that. It's just that's kind of the one thing that we can, since the everything else isn't quite up and running yet. That's kind of what you guys have out there. So I was very interested in getting a couple of those
No,
and just
sure.
more.
I think what you're trying to basically say is you're a little bit cautious about sending money and not receiving your Taboo punk.
I mean, there is an element of that, but I mean, this AMA is definitely putting a lot of that at ease. But it would definitely help me out knowing that they're ready, or that there's some sort of way
they're virtually on the verge. It's not our priority, Michael. We're good, but we're not that good. We can't do everything at once. The marketplace is imminently being launched. We've had a crazy couple of days with, CMC trending. We've just more or less finalized our next exchange listing. Like, we've got so much going on, Michael, that it's just not priority. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm sorry if it's taken slightly longer, or longer than anticipated, or it's not quite the full ticket. But it isn't the forefront of our project. It isn't our priority. But rest assured, it's inevitable. They're coming. They're going to be fun. They're exciting. They're funky. And they're going to give people great benefits that, are included with being a tier 4 holder. And in terms of, your sort of confidence in us, we're not here to try and, take $90 off of somebody and not give them the Taboo punk. We've spent 6 figures on a marketplace, and we've invested nearly now 7 figures in the whole project itself. So, this isn't something that we're looking to achieve.
And I will just clarify, that is not an exaggeration. We have spent nearly 7 figures on this project, and I want everybody, feel free to do it. Go ahead, and if you want to talk about trust and building rapport and having investors feel confident and secure in the project they're holding, we have not touched a single token from our marketing and our development wallet, not a single one. And why is because from day one, we have decided to run this business like a real business. And the number one priority that we have is ensuring not only price stability, but price longevity. And every dollar that has been spent has been used from people on the team, their own pockets, as well as some of our silent angel investors, as James had mentioned before, and big backers as well. So that should bring some reassurance to all of you that we have a lot of skin in the game. So if we have skin in the game, how hard do you think we're going to be working for you? Does that make sense? So when we look at, $90, $100 on a Taboo Punks, as James said, we're not interested in that. In fact, the Taboo Punks was designed, as you rightly said, Michael, because there was no working product at the time. We thought maybe we can have some fillers and something fun and exciting, like James said, in between, where you get to bypass the tiering requirements. And you know what? You might be able to make a killing on it, depending on what the market deems they're worth.
And by the way, they're so cool too. Like, some of the traits and some of the properties that they have, like, we've got some super they're really fun and exciting. I'm actually really excited to launch the teaser for it. So that could be, it's exciting, and it's, a bit of fun for us, the community, and the project. So I'm looking forward to that. Majid, we've been an hour, and we do need to get through some questions.
Yes, let's get to the next questions. Let's get to the next
please,
questions. Perfect.
Could we get to Nav, where we started, about how does the tier system work? What's the criteria? And is there an earning system? So, Nav, I'm sure maybe you haven't had chance to look at the white paper as yet, but Maj, I'll let you take that one over.
Yeah,
yes. I'm going to try to...
A small one.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you please make a tutorial for the order form? Because I can't understand if I have to put my MetaMask wallet address holding where I hold my Taboo, my MetaMask, or my Binance wallet address, or what else?
Put your
And please,
MetaMask address where you hold your Taboo, and then
okay,
when you at the bottom you put the transaction ID of the payment that you had made for the ETH, so
okay,
the amount of Taboo punks. So if you were buying one, you would obviously send 0.0035 ETH to the address
yeah, of course.
that's on the form, and you just simply put the transaction ID into that last section at the bottom. If you were buying 10, for example, you don't need to make 10 transactions, Mr. T. Just make one for 0.35 ETH and just put that one transaction. You'll be sent 10 Taboo punks.
Yeah, but okay, thank you. I will buy my CryptoPunks this evening. But yeah, a video like for how to buy MetaMask. It would be nice to have a video tutorial. It would be nice for people that maybe don't are
Sure,
so.
yeah, I think we can get that
We
done. I
can,
think that can be done. Magic
yeah,
Mario should be able to do that for us.
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you, thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Now for that, the tiering question, again, this is all in the white paper, and I don't believe I want to be in a position where I'm kind of reading verbatim, all the paragraphs and wording on the white paper.
No, but
Feel
if
free
you
to
could
read
just
it, but
outline, Majid, for Nav, the 4 different
yes,
tiers and how much dollar value they need to hold to
yes.
qualify for the tiers. And I think that should crack it.
Yes, yes. So the first tier is the baseline tier. It's free, quote unquote. There are no holding requirements. This is where on the marketplace, just imagine, there will be an abundance of content that anybody will be able to buy and own as well. And this first tier, again, there is no holding requirement. Now, when you move up to tier two, this is where you will need to have a minimum of $1,000 worth of Taboo that is going to be held in your wallet, which will be verified when you connect your wallet. We will be able to tell right away whether you hold that amount or not, or if it's staked on the platform. So we have other options available to determine whether you are a tier one or a tier two holder, for example. Now, all of the features on what's available in tier two, it's right there on the white paper as well. Now, tier three, it's a minimum of $5,000, and tier four, it's a minimum of $10,000 worth of Taboo. But you bypass that by owning a Taboo Punks for
Sure,
being an
there's a
early
lot of
investor
things,
today.
obviously, you don't just bypass all of it by owning a Taboo punk. There are certain things being a tier
Certain things.
4, holder and qualifier that you
You'll
don't
get
get
more
with a Taboo
benefits.
punk, such as, some of the VIP invitations, because obviously it wouldn't make sense to have a tiered system where you own
Yes.
$10,000 but can qualify for $90. It just wouldn't be viable. So there are
Yes.
obviously lots of things being a tier 4 holder that you do get that you wouldn't get just being a Taboo punk holder. But in terms of content on the marketplace, being a Taboo punk holder, you have access to pretty much all of it. But that isn't to say about the VIP invitations, the meet and greets, the Taboo match, etc. That isn't all included, but you get a vast majority.
Yes, yes. I don't really want to spend the next 10 minutes going and just reading out what's in the white paper. Feel free to read that, Nav, as well, but it's all listed there. So perfect. Great. So are there any other questions here? I'm loving the enthusiasm and the energy in this chat. So we're happy to answer more questions.
Yeah, it's me, Michael, again, and thanks for
Yep,
answering that last. I appreciate it.
no problem at all.
So I was just kind of curious as far as, um, and I know you have a couple models locked up, but can you let us know? I guess I don't know if you'd be able to kind of spill the beans on who you guys have lined up or who you're working on. Are these going to be models that we would have heard of before, or are they going to be kind of new, exclusive that you guys kind of found, or are you guys going for like big names?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to start, Majid?
Sure.
Okay, so there's going to be an array of content providers and models, Michael. So we're going to be super selective and it's going to be super exclusive. But at the same time, obviously, we want to provide you guys with a good array of content. There's going to be some big household names there. That's one thing that is for sure, because that's ultimately what our niche is and what separates us from, you know, everybody else. But also, you know, I don't know what your interpretation is. It's hard for me to answer. I don't know what your interpretation is of, you know, a big model, a small model, a well-known model, a household model.
And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't probably know any of the big name models myself, but I just, as far as just engagement with kind of getting the most people interacting, I'm sure there are models who is going to attract a huge following.
That's exactly right. So you
Yeah.
just hit the nail on the head. So what we can confirm and what we can ensure is that our array of content providers and models will fulfill pretty much a broad spectrum. So it will fulfill everybody's desires. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yes.
In terms of them buying and acquiring NFTs, they will range from, hundreds of thousands of Taboo, tens of thousands of Taboo, all the way up to millions of Taboo. So there will be some big names. There will be not so big names. There will be a fantastic array. And I don't want to say what I just nearly was about to say because it's confidential at the moment. But we will be launching the marketplace. And
Don't say it.
It will be very special when we launch the marketplace, and it's going to make a lot of noise when we launch it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. And do you mind, just a follow-up question on that? You said it's going to be very exclusive. Now I know we can, from what I'm reading on the white paper, we can obviously send in content for you guys to decide if that is worth going up on the page. The exclusivity and the quality is high on your guys' list. So with the content that doesn't get used, I'm just wondering, how are people going to be confident that that doesn't get dispersed, or is there any way to reassure people that sending in, I guess, tryout type stuff isn't going to leave? But as far as confidentiality, how are you guys going to address that?
Well, first and foremost, the way that we've designed this marketplace and how it's going to look. I mean, it's not going to be a case of anybody can go onto our marketplace and upload content. We are not allowing that. In fact, embedded into how the marketplace works is any content creator that decides to register and onto the marketplace, they're going to have to be doing KYC for the creator side. I'm talking about the content creators that want to upload their work. For example, it can be photographers that have archives of images, or maybe and all of that, for example, or other creators. And from there we get to approve or reject it. So what we don't want is, we do not want the quality to diminish just for the sake of volume. Does that make sense, Michael? So we're being very, very careful on that front. Does that make sense? So I hope that answers your question, unless I didn't understand that properly. But
no, that makes perfect sense, and that sounds like a great way to approach it. I'm just wondering, how can you reassure possible content providers, like, for instance, my girlfriend, if she is interested in registering and she sends in a portfolio, let's say, and it doesn't end up getting picked up, or even if it does get picked up, how are we going to know that doesn't get, is there any kind of, I don't know, like a contract that...
Yeah, well, essentially, until it's been approved on our marketplace and minted to an NFT and put up for sale, that your girlfriend would still own the rights to that image.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But I'm saying, like, as far as if you guys don't, it doesn't get out elsewhere. Because I think that would be a concern of hers is I'm sending this to a company. How do I know it doesn't end up on Pornhub next week? Not saying that that could ever happen, but I'm just knowing that that would be a concern of hers.
Right.
Or is it
Well,
just
I
kind
guess
of, we got to trust it?
Sure,
well,
sure.
I mean, yeah, I think James, I mean, I think I understand where he's coming from now. It's more, if there's exclusive content that the creator has that's never before been seen, but they're uploading it onto our marketplace, they don't want that being dispersed everywhere.
No, sure. There's confidentiality agreements that are in place for once we've, they can't. The initial process is you can't even upload. Mistake me if I'm wrong, Magic.
Yes,
Your content until we've approved you as a
exactly.
content provider and we've gone through the confidentiality agreements. So yeah, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
And it
Okay,
looks
do we have any more questions here? I think we've got a few more.
Looks like we're also about to approach our all-time high as well. So this is fantastic while we're on the call. I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
That's nice.
That's nice. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Feel free to ask any more questions.
Have we got any more questions here with from the community on the voice call right now?
Yeah, and I hate to hog it. I'll let anyone interrupt me if they got a question, because I don't want to take up all the question time. But so it says on the white paper you guys are going to be working, or at least like with the different layer ones, like you guys got Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon. It's going to be compatible. How is that conversation going? As far as, I'm sure there might be concern that they don't want to be associated with something that's not what you guys are putting out, but like from just the societal standpoint, are they receptive in being a part of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, and I mean, this goes back just quickly, to what I mentioned earlier. It goes back to what we first said about how we are positioning ourselves and why we're positioning ourselves in that manner. Is to ensure that we are marketable, and ultimately, to ensure that we are in a position that we don't get knocked back on opportunities that could present themselves if we were, the competitors that you guys have probably heard about, the cum rockets of the world. Why we don't want to be associated or tied as the same brush as them for that particular reason, Michael.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much.
Okay, have we got any more questions, guys, here? I think there's a few in the chat too, but we like to always hear voices from our community.
So just one last one. My girlfriend wanted me to ask. So, and I mean, as far as the whitelist, unless I'm reading it incorrectly, so all royalties are going to go to the content creator and they own their image. So there's not going to be any is it going to be kind of like a OnlyFans in that aspect where we can post as a creator and then we get.
Well, yeah. Okay. So I know what you're asking. So again, once, if there's a verification and approval for said content creator, and we feel that this creator meets our standards, similarly as Playboy doesn't just employ any model because they have a particular standard that needs to be met. Let's say that standard is met. The royalty aspect, it's not there yet on our marketplace. That is in a later, again, I say this loosely, version. Right now, having the ability to buy and sell NFTs at ease is going to be there on our marketplace. That'll be a functional aspect of our marketplace. But royalties, I confirmed that from our development team last night. Actually, I asked them about this. That's in a later phase. And yes, the content creator will receive royalties on every future buy and sell. And depending on the amount of transactions, they will either make more on royalties or make less. which helps generate the creator a passive income, which when you look at it that way, there are to my knowledge, I think I've only seen one project so far that is implementing royalties. And if others have, they're smart in doing that. But I feel that we pioneered this concept actually from the very get-go. That actually makes a strong case that creators coming onto our platform, it's more beneficial for them because of the passive income revenue streams that happen on transactions. Does that make sense? So yes, there will be royalties, and the content creator will have, as the owner of the content, will be receiving ongoing royalties on transaction volume from the moment they mint and moving forward. So.
Okay, thank you guys. I'll open up the floor to other people. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. It's good that you get involved like that. We appreciate it a lot. We've been going now for over nearly an hour and a half. So, is there any more questions from the floor?
I think I see someone asking, said, are there plans of burning of the token in the earliest of time?
It's automated, right?
Yeah, automated, 1% burn on every buy and sell already. So we started at 10 billion total token supply. By the way, our tokenomics are actually fantastic. That was a very, very great decision to have our tokenomics that way. I see too many projects. They have too much supply or not enough supply. We've kind of hit a great sweet spot with 10 billion. And now we're down to about 9.7 billion. So the supply is reducing. Yes, on every transaction, and it's 1% per transaction.
Fantastic. Good. Have we got any more questions from anybody that's on the call with us right now? Okay, I think we're pretty good. Majid, have you got any more questions that have been messaged to you directly or in the chat? I think we've covered, a pretty vast amount over the last hour and a half. So I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. I think I'll just answer this one last question on Shizuoka. It says, do you have any marketing plans for Africa? Absolutely. Actually, we're actually getting on a call a little bit later with a firm that will help with some of the community management and outreach in various geographies like Africa as well, and all of that. So yes, as we continue to grow and build, there will be attention that will be had on different geographies and continents, different language Telegram groups we already have about 5 already. James, correct me if I'm wrong. All of this.
No, we have 11.
11. Okay, there you go.
11.
11. So yes, there are going to be marketing plans for different countries, but just remember that as we grow, there will be community members that come forward that say, hey, we don't have a Spain Telegram group yet, I'd like to make it. We give them the opportunity to do that, and then once a community starts to build, then we can start to channel marketing spend into those communities as well. So this is happening on an ongoing basis. So to answer your question, yeah, good. And I think this could be a good time to end now, James, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. Majid, thanks for your time. And most importantly, thanks to the community in believing in us. We won't let you down. We are here. We are working tirelessly for you guys. And we won't be stopping anytime soon. So thank you. It's looking good. It's nice to know that, on this AMA that we're just approaching our all-time high again. That it will make me sleep well tonight, put it that way. So, yeah, we're only just getting started. Thanks, Majid. Thanks to the community, and thanks to the team at Taboo. And I look forward to the next AMA next week.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your time, everybody, and we will chat with you all soon.
Speak soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.